Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town with me, Lynn About Town, in my town of sunny Clearwater, Florida. I'm here today with a friend and a wonderful gentleman named Patrick Valtin. He is a Clearwater resident, and he is a dad, and he is an entrepreneur, and he is a new citizen. He has amazing children, and I really invited him here today because I wanted to talk about that. I found that to be something special. I wanted him to impart any tips he had on parenting because recently I followed you on Facebook and I saw a motorcycle trip, an adventurous outback Florida trip, camping, and he wasn't alone or with guys that were his age. He was with his kids. And they're older now. Like one is married with his own baby and a beautiful wife, but he was there with dad hanging out on this adventurous weekend. How is it that you have these great sons and a daughter, and they are like, they're in their own right, these great guys, they're in business, they're doing various things, but they choose to spend a weekend with dad. How do you pull that off?
I tell you what, they choose more than a weekend. What we did last weekend in the Ocala forest, we spent a weekend doing dirt biking and camping and drinking some beer and singing. And it was just to remind ourselves of a major trip we had taken in July, where my two kids and two other friends, we rode through the Rocky Mountains over 2,500 miles.
2,500 miles on
off-road,
bikes.
On dirt bikes. Not on road, off-road, meeting cows and bears and moose. But the point is, yeah, I was doing this with my kids. We love being together. And if you ask me the secret or the recipe for having your kids being interested to stick with you, I will tell you very simply, involve them in your hobbies. If you are passionate about something, share it. We're talking about dirt bikes. I did my first racing bike experience in Morocco, in North Africa, when I was 40 years old. So my kids were born on a dirt bike.
Oh my goodness.
Right? My first experience, I was 40
In
years old.
Morocco.
In Morocco, yeah. I mean, a guy told me then, I've been a martial artist all my life. I used to be European champion of karate.
I did not know that.
You didn't know that, right?
Whoa.
And one day a guy tells me, karate is for, young ladies. You could never do what I do. And I said, what are you doing? And he said, I do desert dirt bike racing. I said, okay, I'll do it. So
Challenge on.
Challenge on, I'll take the challenge. I had no idea of what I was doing. Purchased my first dirt bike. And 3 weeks later, I was in the desert racing with 3 kids, right?
How old were the kids then?
The kids at that time were, Nathan was actually 1 year, not even 1 year old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Steve was about 9 and then Caroline was 11. So for 10 days, they had no clue where I was because there was no internet at that time, definitely not in the desert.
Yeah.
But it was a passion that grew very fast. And I shared. So my kids have been dirt biking with me for the last 30 years and Nathan for the last 20 years.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. I would never had the amazing pleasure to have a life like I have with my kids if it had not been for my wife. I remember a song where it says, behind every successful man, there's a very smart, courageous, and brave woman. So that definitely applies to my family.
Chantal.
Her name is
Hats off to
Chantal,
you.
absolutely. And she's definitely a major component of my success and happiness in life. What you might not know is I was born and raised on the street. Never heard that, right?
No. Tell us that because that is.
I was literally born and raised on the street, and I had to steal food for surviving when I was 4 or 5 years old. And
Is this in a big city?
I was in a big city back in Europe, in Belgium, and literally, living on the street, growing on the street, fighting on the street. But very early on, I have to tell you, I decided I'm going to have the best family that everybody will be able to look at and say, wow, what a happy, amazing family.
Wow.
And I remember having that thought when I was not even 10.
Oh my gosh.
And, you know, I never had a mother or father to go to. But I remember saying to myself, I will be the best father you can get. So it really helped me develop that state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And funny enough, when I met my wife, I was not even 18. She was not even 16.
No kidding.
And you can imagine street boy, like a tramp, all right? Really, literally living like a tramp.
And I met your wife, and I know her a little bit. She's a classy lady.
And she was more of the bourgeois type of family. You know, it was so funny because I told her when we met, one of the first things I told her is, I wanted to create the best family, a model family, just to show to everybody else that it is possible.
Wow.
To be happy with a great family.
And look at that. Not just that it is possible to be happy with a great family, but from your experience with no family to have such a broad, high goal. To me, I mean, and she knew your roots, right?
Oh, she knew I was a street boy. She had to educate me.
She saw something. She saw.
She did. She did probably see many things more than I think.
Yeah.
And but the genuinity of my intention
Mm-hmm.
to create a model family, she really perceived that.
Wow.
And she wanted that. See,
It was like do 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 do.
it was fitting.
Yeah.
You know, she was coming from a completely different environment,
Yeah.
education, than I was, obviously. There was nothing that could explain why we got together, except one thing, the purpose. The purpose of having a great family, having great kids, and educating your children to actually make them happy. Not to make yourself happy, but to
Right.
make them happy.
Right.
So very early on, we were in great agreement with each other on how to go by in life, with the purpose of later having kids who would always want to be coming back home, who would always be happy coming back home. And I'm telling you, that it's really happening. What you saw during the weekend, us being in Ocala, that's just an example of application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you went on this cross-country Rocky Mountain, what is the name of that trail? It's got something to do with the Appalachian Mountains, or?
No, the Appalachian is actually on the east side of the U.S.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Grand Divide Ride, GDR.
Grand Divide Ride.
The Grand Divide is the Rocky Mountains dividing, you know, the east and the west.
Got it.
And what we did, about 2 weeks, it took us about 2 weeks, we actually started in Canada, Jasper, Canada,
Okay.
went down through Banff, Montana, Wyoming, down to Colorado, and did the trip in Denver.
Wow.
Sleeping in the wild. We had such a blast. For me, I would not say it was kind of a bucket list item, but kind of,
Yeah.
except that we're going to do it again.
Yeah.
We are actually going to do next year the Appalachian
Oh.
Trail, which is about 2,000 miles. Yeah, on dirt bikes.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you this. So you're on a dirt bike, which means you're not on one of those big wide Hondas with, you know,
No,
looking, you know, real cozy. This is like boom, boom, boom.
this is physical, this is technical. You need to know what you are doing.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, 3 years ago, I actually had a quite serious accident when I kissed a big tree at about 50 miles an hour with my dirt bike,
Oh, wow.
with a broken back. The Tampa hospital doctors were telling me, we need to operate you right away. If not, you are going to end your life in a wheelchair.
Oh, my God.
And I told them, if you touch my back, I kill you.
Wow.
Because I knew I could actually handle it by myself.
Wow.
And I did.
Wow.
I did. And I'm, you know, I'm kind of a sport guy. still very,
Kind
very
of,
active.
you know, kind of a sport guy, karate champion, European.
Yeah, impulsive desire, right?
That's right.
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, I have a philosophy. You need to live life for fun.
Yeah.
Life is a game. And I definitely wanted to teach that to my kids.
Yeah.
And they will tell you one thing that I kept telling my kids through the last 30 and so years. You know, I like to take my version of Bill Gates saying, I always told them, listen, life is tough, get used to it.
Mm.
And one way to get used to it is to have fun as much as you can.